welcome into today's video. Hope you guys are having a great day out there. As always, in today's video, we get into two things. First is two stocks that I just put $70,000 in, okay? And let me tell you, one of these stocks, I think you guys should guess which one it is, okay? A lot of you guys that follow my channel on an everyday basis or an every week basis, a lot of you guys should know the stock, okay? The other stock is gonna surprise a lot of folks, okay? And definitely in a major way. And then we'll get into why I bought these particular stocks and why I'm so excited about these two stocks in particular here today, guys. So hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash that like button. I appreciate it in a huge way, guys. That helps us out huge in the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. As always, if you're looking to download everything that I possibly know from my brain to your brain, check out the pinned comment down there. That is going to be a link to apply to join us in the private stock group and the private Discord chat. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out pinned comment. Also, if you haven't got a chance to check out the Hungry Bowl, we're still kind of in beta test mode, okay? But we're nearly out of that, getting out a lot of the bugs, fixing a lot of things, and we're just going to make that beast better and better over the coming months and coming years. So if you haven't got to check it out yet, definitely check it out. It's a way to track your stocks, track cryptos, read our daily newsletter, listen to conference calls right inside the app, keep up with news in relation to your stocks, your own, and so much more. Alrighty, guys, let's get in this. So first thing I want to cover real quick here, I thought this was worth mentioning, okay? Because I always try to, kind of feel vibes out there in the market and things like that, right? Russell is down versus 6 months ago, and the Russell hasn't been doing anything. A lot of the small caps haven't been doing anything, okay? And some people are looking at this and they're either getting frustrated or they're thinking like the market will stay like this so they don't have to take investing serious or do anything like that. And I can just tell you guys, the deals are already there, okay? Look at this here on this slide, okay, from Yardini Research. I mean, small caps, and never mind, small caps were down more today from what I saw. 16.9. There's deals out there. There's no doubt about it. There are deals out there, and it's up for you guys to take advantage of those deals out there. And so everybody that's procrastinating and things like that, I'm just like, man, the deals are already there. Sure, the market could always drop lower, and who knows, the Russell could go to, I don't know, 1,800 or whatever, and small caps fall a bunch more. But there comes a point when you start getting greedy, right? Same thing on the upside when, let's say, stocks are at crazy valuations and things like that. And there's definitely still some stocks in the stock market that are at crazy valuations. And we definitely saw some of that. There's greed there, but there's also greed on the downside. And when a market's not doing anything and being like, no, I don't need to take this serious. I don't need to buy any stocks, things like that. Okay. And then all of a sudden you see where the markets are at in a few years from now and you're like, oh, man. And you were looking into some stock and you were thinking about buying it, but you're like, well, maybe it was going to go lower. And then, you see where that stock is in a few years and you're like, oh yeah, I never bought. Believe me, it's happened to me a million times and it happens to a lot of folks out there. So I just think that's worth mentioning. All right, guys, first stock up here of the bunch. You guys might be able to guess this one, okay? You might be able to guess this one. Yes, it is Corsair Gaming, CRSR. Man, have I been buying this one heavy the last 24 hours. Let's just put it that way, okay? Here today, bought 1,111 shares of stock. $26.65 is what I paid for those shares, and that was just under $30,000 worth of shares there. And then yesterday, I bought almost $18,000 worth of shares, and then $9,000 worth of shares, then $2,700 worth of shares, and then almost $500 worth of shares just yesterday, okay? So obviously a significant amount of money I put in Corsair Gaming just in the past 24 hours. And here's the thing, guys. I'm not done buying. I'm not done buying. I'm aggressively adding these shares. When it comes to Corsair Gaming, here's what I own. I own 13,333 shares. That's in my main private account. I own a bunch more shares in the public account as well, okay? Here's the thing, Corsair. Sure, it could go lower. Maybe it goes to $24, $22, whatever, okay? But at the end of the day, I'm not trying to put myself in a situation where I'm just hoping, oh, go lower and then I'll buy more, okay? I'm aggressively adding shares. I feel like the stock's a deal and a half. I feel like if we fast forward 3 years into the future, 5 years into the future, Corsair's massively higher than it is today. And there's no doubt in my mind at all about that. If we fast forward a month from now, I have no clue where Corsair could be at $24, $27, $30, $40. I have no clue where that stock will be in a month. But what I believe is extremely high probability the stock is exponentially higher in 3 years from now and 5 years from now than it is today. And that's why I'm adding these shares aggressively and not just sitting on my hands in this situation, okay? Corsair Gaming, we're at a forward P of about 15-ish, right? 24% revenue growth in the last quarter. Market cap on this stock, yesterday was trading about, even this morning, it was trading about $2.5 billion roughly on the market cap, okay? Stock has kind of, come back as the afternoon's kind of gone along here, but needless to say, it's a $2-something billion market cap on this company. Now, I basically woke up this morning really, really early, okay? And I listened to the earnings conference call. And this conference call was done yesterday, but I only got to see some of the kind of transcripts of it yesterday. I actually wanted to listen to it. So I woke up this morning early before the kids were up, anything like that, and I just listened to this earnings call, okay? And there were a few things that kind of stuck out to me. One is the chip shortage is hurting the overall gaming market. Not necessarily just Corsair, but it hurts the overall gaming market, building PCs, things like that, okay? Shipping costs is hurting Corsair's profitability right now and their margins right now. And when it comes to those two things, those will be fixed. I promise you that, okay? We're not gonna stay in a chip shortage forever, and we're also not gonna have a situation where our shipping costs are gonna destroy us forever as far as profitability. Both those things will come down. The chip supply and demand will balance out, and the shipping costs, that's more of a commoditized business. I promise you, commoditized businesses, those don't stay high forever, okay? And those will come down more, okay? The company's on pace to do $2 billion of revenue this year, if not more than that. Elgato's business is booming, and the company is innovating at an extremely rapid clip. Those were the main things I took from that conference call overall there. That's the main, I guess you can say, 5 core points. There was one last point that I think was important. I didn't write it down here that I heard on the conference call, but essentially, when a new gamer comes into the market, right, they're going to buy less expensive of products, right? They're going to get maybe some peripherals, things like that. But as somebody takes gaming more and more serious, especially when we're talking about like computer gaming, right, they get more and more advanced equipment and more advanced, even like PC builds, things like that. And those are things that really, really help Corsair in a big way. And so when you think about that, whenever the gaming market takes off and has a huge kind of like, let's call it a bull cycle for gaming, right? Whenever that happens, guys, this is very, very important. Whenever that happens, somebody like Corsair is going to actually benefit even more 6 months down the road, 12 months down the road, 18 months down the road than that initial. Initially, they'll definitely see an uptick in business, but the real numbers start coming in a little more down the road as a percentage of those new gamers to the market take things more and more serious. And likely, if they're doing that, they're going to probably buy a lot of dang Corsair products, okay? Now look at this here. I saw this, okay? I was looking at the news on the Hungry Bowl there, okay? Number 4, look at this. This is from some analyst upgrades and downgrades. Look at this. Corsair Gaming downgraded to neutral from outperform at Credit Suisse, with analyst Matthew Cabral saying, while the analyst remains positive on the longer-term secular outlook for PC gaming, he is moving to the sidelines as Q2 results highlight a faster than expected normalization of both demand and profitability following a significant surge in spending under Roni Rona. Here's the thing, guys, okay? Wall Street gets so tight. I mean, it's like their whole goal is to make you into like a day trader or something like that and get in and get out and get in and get out. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't care, Matthew, like whatever, okay? Whatever you want to say about short-term stuff. The stock price is down heavily. The business model is extremely exciting. The management team has their head on straight. They're a stellar management team there, and everything's lining up. So, to get tied up into, move to the sidelines now, it's like, what are you talking about, man? Move to the sidelines now? Look at this, okay? These two came out yesterday. Corsair Gaming price target lowered to $38 from $48 at Baird. Corsair Gaming price target lowered to $42 from $47 at Barclays. Guys, when it comes to these analysts, they all follow each other around. And if a stock price is falling, guess what they all do? They lower their price targets, because then they're like, oh man, we're up way too high. And then as soon as the stock price starts going up a ton, you know what they all do? Up the price target, up the price target. And this is why you get, honestly, it's a good thing for folks like myself that are stock pickers at the end of the day, because it creates tremendous buying opportunities in some of these stocks. And you get some deals in some of these stocks that you just wouldn't get otherwise. On the flip side, it also can make stocks go up way more than they should go up, right? And so these are some things to keep in mind. The Wall Street motto, okay? The Wall Street motto at the end of the day, sometimes I think with these guys, is like buy high and sell low. Because honestly, it doesn't make any sense. You know, when these stocks are flying high, they're like buy, 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 and they're putting buy price targets on and up in their price targets and all these things. And when the stock gets, you know, hit in the short term, but yet, you know, everything's lining up in the long term, it's like all of a sudden like sell, sell, sell. What is there to sell with this stock? They had 24% revenue growth. They still had very, very impressive net income despite all these short-term challenges. You know, it just doesn't make sense. And the stock's already had a big downward move. Like, you know, I don't know. That's Wall Street's motto. It just doesn't make any sense, okay? Corsair, as far as the recap here goes, okay? They're growing in two sectors in a massive way, which are two growing sectors, gaming and streaming simultaneously. They're growing revenues quite strongly, 24% in the last quarter. Okay, not every quarter is going to be 24% revenue growth, but as long as they can keep putting up nice numbers, whoo, okay, especially when you got a cheap valuation on your stock, yeah, okay, we'll know where the stock price is going to go over time. They're growing net income also, despite a lot of short-term challenges for profitability. They're still growing net income. They're paying down debt. So they're basically paying down debt. They're getting more and more of those interest payments off of them, which is very important. And they're innovating at a super fast pace. These are all the telltale signs, and their brand is in a stronger place than ever when it comes to Corsair brand and the Elgato brand and the Scott brand as well, okay, which is their custom controllers brand. But at the end of the day, when I look at this, okay, this is all the telltale signs of not just a potential B stock, but a great management team. When a management team can grow their revenues, grow their net income even in a tough environment, pay down debt, innovate like crazy, and keep their brands pristine and stronger than ever, those are the signs of a great management team. And I love to bet on great management teams. In Corsair Gaming, there's no doubt in my mind this is a great management team. This isn't like, you know, some of those other management teams that had a lot of questionable things. This is not one of those at all, okay? So I am extremely confident in this stock. I will continue to be a heavy buyer of the stock as long as it's anywhere remotely close to the price it is at now, or especially if the stock goes down at all, I'll gladly be a buyer of this. And this is my number one stock in which I am interested in buying 2024 call options. Now, 2024 calls don't come out for about another, let's say 5 to 6 weeks. A lot can change in a 5 to 6 week time frame, okay? Corsair, who knows, maybe all of a sudden it's at $35 come that time. I'm not banking on that, but I'm just saying a lot can happen. And so if the stock was to go up a ton, it might move to my second or third favorite stock for buying 2024 calls in. But as of right now, if the 2024 calls were out today, it would be my number one stock I'm interested in buying calls in, okay? Let's get into the stock number 2 up here of these two stocks. Well, this one is a big tech stock. Yes, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of the valuations on big tech right now, but there is one stock that dropped a little bit recently. I've never owned this stock before, okay, so which eliminates some of those stocks, which basically the stocks I've never owned before of big tech, Amazon and Microsoft, okay? And the truth is, I've always wanted to own one of these stocks extremely bad. For over a decade now. Never been able to buy it. But at the end of the day, I said, man, you know, how long am I gonna wait? Another decade until I finally buy this stock? And you know what stock it is? It is Amazon. Yes, Amazon stock, AMZN, finally took the leap of faith after all these years and all those gains later the stock has been getting. And I finally jumped into this one recently, okay? So far I've bought 3 shares. My cost base on this one is $3,348.28. Yeah, $10,000, it only gets you 3 shares of Amazon, okay? It's not gonna get you much, okay? But this company, at the end of the day, this is the profitability era for Amazon. And that's one of the reasons I'm really extremely attracted to this stock now versus in the past when it was a harder stock to read because the valuations were super high a lot of times in the past. It was at PE ratios of 100 plus, if not hundreds. It went through bouts of unprofitability. It was a hard business model to read in the past, and now it is so much easier to understand and read, okay? Look at this. Revenue for this past quarter, guys, $113 billion, okay? $113 billion. You gotta be flipping my flapjacks. I mean, how many companies do $113 billion in a whole year? I'd say maybe like less than 20 companies. And the whole world, like, and I'm talking in a year, this company just did in a quarter, and they're still growing rapidly, right? That's versus 88 mil, 89 mil back at the same time last year. Look at that, up 27% year over year net sales. And on a foreign exchange basis, there was up 24%, okay? Look at these numbers here. Look at the trailing 12-month net sales. $443 billion, $443 billion of trailing 12-month net sales versus $321 billion at this same time last year. Look at Amazon Web Services. On a trailing 12-month, Amazon Web Services has now done $52 billion of revenue. That business continues to be a beast, and I've learned a lot about Amazon Web Services over the past year, and that's made me a lot more bullish. And I can tell you, when it comes to app team, software engineers, things like that, talk to those folks a little bit about Amazon Web Services. And all of them are going to tell you a lot of positive things, and they're all going to tell you, yeah, it's pretty much like a must-need product out there, okay? And we definitely use Amazon Web Services in some form for the Hungry Bowl. And it's extremely sticky product that's just gonna get massively bigger over the next decade, all right? And then obviously you have all the traditional businesses in North America and international as well, which I don't know when they'll stop growing, but like, I just know like people are gonna order more and more stuff every single year than the previous year on Amazon for this whole decade, essentially. Like someday they'll stop growing, but I can tell you it's not right now. Operating income for this company up 32% year over year. $5.8 billion they did in the same quarter last year, $7.7 billion in this quarter this year. That's up 32% year over year. This is very important because I want to see, I love this, okay? I love to see operating income or net income growing at a faster clip than revenue. That's something I absolutely love to see in a business model. Look at net income. Net income up 48% year over year. Up 48% year over year. $7.77 billion. Oh, I love all those sevens. You know I live in Vegas, okay? $7.77 billion of net income versus $5.2 billion in the same quarter last year. Once again, 48% growth. And on a foreign exchange basis, once again, they grew revenue 24%. So they basically doubled that up, okay? And this is why, this is why I'm so excited about this stock really now, because it's so easy to see where this company's going over the next decade, essentially, okay? Trailing 12-month net income. Look at this. Up 123% year over year, $13 billion at the same time last year versus nearly $30 billion now on a trailing 12-month net income. Okay, these numbers are insane, absolutely insane. All right, if we look at 2022. Average analyst estimate, $72.38. I can tell you, analysts are always way too low on Amazon. They always are. The same thing with Facebook, same thing with Google, and Apple a lot of times as well, okay? And even sometimes Microsoft, but really, just in big tech in general, they're always too low, okay? 72 they expect. That's a very nice number. The high estimate's around 96. I would think $80 plus, if not $90 plus in 2022 for Amazon. This is the profitability era for Amazon now, okay? Whereas the last decade was really about that revenue growth. And keep in mind, Amazon's gonna continue to grow revenue as far as I can see. It's just maybe the rates won't be as much. But keep in mind, Amazon has been predicted many times to start growing revenue less than 20%, and then somehow, some way, they always find a way to grow their revenues 20% plus on a yearly basis. And this sometimes will come out with 30%, 40%. It's unbelievable, really. I don't know if that's gonna continue to stay that way, but all I know is this company, as far as revenue, I can see, like, there's no year in the next decade where I don't see them growing at least 10% revenues on the top line, okay? And then the profitability is going to be immense. Like I said, the net income is going to increase at a much more of a rapid clip than actually revenue is. This is the profitability era for Amazon. So when you look at the company overall, right, it's let's say a $1.7 trillion market cap, okay? Can it get to 3 trillion, 5 trillion, 10 trillion? In my opinion, it can over time, absolutely. When I look at the rate that the net income is increasing, when I look at the revenues, I mean, there's a high probability, guys, a high probability. This company is at $1 trillion plus of revenues by the end of this decade. And some would even say within the next 5 years, $1 trillion plus of revenue. I can definitely see a day within maybe even the next 5 years or 6 years, where Amazon's doing 100 billion plus of net income, 100 billion plus of net income, and still having growth. And that's just within the next 5 to 6 years. So if you slap a $3 trillion market cap on it, like, it's still going to seem like a pretty darn good deal, because that would be, you know, if they're doing 100 billion in net income, which I think is definitely possible within the next, look at what they just did. They just did almost 30. Never mind what's going to happen over the next few years. I think it's definitely possible for them to be a 3 trillion or 5 trillion. Because even, keep in mind, this company usually trades at somewhere around, you know, let's say a 50 to an 80 P ratio, right? So if they're doing 100 billion, let's say in 5 years from now, net income, 5 trillion is definitely actually not out of the imagination at all. That would put it at a 50p essentially, okay? And those are numbers I can definitely see them doing on the bottom line. And so I'm looking at the stock and I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely willing to buy more of the stock, another $20,000 to maybe, let's say, $40,000 more of Amazon stock. It's a beast. I love it. If it goes down, I would really be happy. Like, if somehow this stock went under 3K, man, okay? But at the end of the day, I've loved this stock for the longest time, and at the end of the day, man, I order so much dang stuff on Amazon, and plus I'm gonna spend a bunch of money on Amazon Web Services. I'm like, hey, I just want to get my money back, okay? So I might as well own the stock. So as the company thrives and I order all this stuff all the time from them, at least I get to feel like I make a little money back from them, guys. So I love that feeling, all right? Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thanks so much for joining me. As always, once again, if you want to download everything I know from my brain directly to your brain, check out the pinned comment down there. That's to check out our private stock group. Apply for that, as well as the private Discord chat. Thank you for watching and have a great day.